Levi Ackerman is one of the most loved characters of the Attack on Titan series, but do you truly know what kind of person he is? In this video, I will be exploring his character by taking a look at his past, his purpose, and his character. The first portion of this video will focus on Levi's story and analyze elements of his character, while the second portion will take a deeper dive into his psyche. So for those of you who are interested in Levi's true self, or maybe you want to hear his complete journey and epic climax, well, get ready, because we'll be starting at the beginning of it all. Levi was born into the underground, a subterranean city beneath the capital located in Shiganshina. His mother, Levi Ackerman, worked as a prostitute, and his father was one of her clients, and he's an unknown both to us viewers and to Levi. At a young age, Levi's mother dies of an illness, and at some point, Kenny comes to pay her a visit, only to find a starving little boy by her deathbed instead. Kenny ends up taking Levi under his wing and teaching him various combat and survival skills. It's during this time that it's assumed that Levi awakens his Ackerman powers. After Kenny teaches him all that he knows, and Levi shows he is capable of taking care of himself, Kenny abandons Levi, feeling he is not fit to be a parental figure for him. Levi goes on to meet Ferlin Church and Isabel Magnolia, and the three of them create a gang. When one of their heists goes south, they have a run-in with the Scout Regiment. Erwin, the commander of the Scout Regiment, makes Levi a deal that if the three of them join the Scouts, they won't turn them over to the military police, in which Levi agrees. As it turns out, the job the three earlier accepted is to steal a document from Erwin and to assassinate him. They decide that during the next Scout exhibition will be the best time to carry this out. But just before Levi plans to take out Erwin, the Scout formation is broken and he races back to his friends only to find their corpses in pieces. Erwin finds Levi as the lone survivor and chastises him, which makes Levi lash out. Erwin then reveals he's always known about their plan to kill him and has already sent the document they were after to the military commander. This news causes Levi to break down as he realizes how much he's lost for a job that was over before it even began. And with nothing left in his life, he accepts Erwin's request for him to stay with the Scouts. Time passes, and during the 49th Scout exhibition in 850, Levi is involved with the founding of Isol's journal. This journal includes details about the Titans' abnormal behavior, and it is rather disturbing. The findings in this journal lead Erwin to finally grant Hanj permission to capture Titans alive. It's also worth noting that this is 5 years after the fall of Wall Maria, where the colossal armored and female Titans make their first appearance, and where Eren starts his path of vengeance. Later on in the same year, 850, during the 56th Scout expedition, Tross District is attacked by the Titans. By the time the Scouts make their return to Tross, the battle is in a dire shape. Levi participates in the defense and witnesses Eren's obscene ability to transform into a Titan. 3 days pass, and when Eren awakes in a dungeon below the courthouse, Levi informs Eren that he'll be joining the Scout Regiment, and he'll personally make sure that Eren's Titan form is not a problem. After putting on a show in the courtroom to win over the people, Levi takes Eren to an old Scout HQ. He creates a special operations squad to work with Eren, and after some experimentation with his powers, the entire Scout Regiment sets out on their next exhibition. During the exhibition, Levi has 2 run-ins with the female Titan. During the first one, Levi's squad is being chased by the female Titan. Eren becomes distressed when Levi doesn't give orders to attack. Levi makes it clear to him that he is not wrong for wanting to transform and fight the Titan, that nobody can know what is the right or wrong choice until there are results in the aftermath, and by then it's too late to make a decision. He tells Eren that he should make the choice he believes in the most and the one he'll regret the least, to which Eren decides to trust in Levi and his squad, and this leads to the capture of the female Titan, which is short-lived. The second appearance of the female Titan leads to the capture of Eren and the death of the entire Levi squad. This event leaves Levi full of rage and grief, but per usual, he is able to keep his composure and carry out his mission. With the help of Mikasa, he is able to successfully rescue Eren from the female Titan. But during the battle with the Titan, Levi injures his leg when attempting to save Mikasa. This forces him to sit out of the Stoics operation, where the Scouts attempt to capture Annie, the presumed female Titan. He does inevitably show up though, just in time to save Eren from being crystallized. Some time passes as Levi waits for his leg to heal, and in the aftermath of the battle at Wall Rose, where the identities of the colossal and armored Titan are revealed, the mystery of the Titans becomes more and more worrying. Levi is able to get a name out of Minister Nick of someone who will know the secret of the walls and the Titans, Historia Reyes. Also around this time, Hanj's theory that Titans used to be human gains enough solid ground to be considered true. The idea that he's been killing humans this entire time begins to weigh on Levi's mind. After retrieving Historia, Levi picks out a group of scouts to stay at an isolated cabin while they figure out what to do next. And this is when things start to get a little complicated. The military police want Historia and Eren for reasons unknown. Sensing that they may be found soon, Levi orders the squad to move camp. Knowing that their their time on the run is waning, the group moves to Trost District where they set up a counter operation to bait the MP. Everything seems to be going as planned until Levi makes the realization that this MP operation is very similar to something Kenny would pull. Before Levi even has time to react to this realization, the 3 scouts around him are blown to bits and Levi has a hate-filled reunion with Kenny. This ambush catches the scouts off guard and they lose Aaron and Historia. They are able to get information out of the ringleader of the hired kidnappers, who helps them capture 2 high-ranking MPs. Levi ends up having trouble breaking Sans and making him talk, despite the torture he puts him through. He becomes rather disgusted by Sans, who feels guilty for the torture that he committed as an MP, and eggs Levi to punish him more for his past actions. As he continues to refuse to talk, Levi and Hanj are forced to deceive him with the help of Ralph, and this leads him to break. He tells Hanj about the Reyes family and the true rulers of mankind in the walls. Levi and Hanj theorize that Rod Reyes plans to eat Aaron, and they start to formulate a rescue plan. While they attempt to gather information on the whereabouts of Historia and Aaron, the military coup in the capital is successful, and Han returns with information about a mysterious chapel from Erwin that proves to be very helpful. Before the departure to the chapel, Levi apologizes to Hanj for losing the 3 soldiers of hers who were shot on the rooftop when he met Kenny, showing once again the strong value that Levi has for human life. Once they reach the chapel, the scouts find a secret underground cavern, where they end up skirmishing with Kenny's squad. Levi has a knife fight against Kenny and fatally wounds him, forcing him to retreat. The team pushes forward to where Aaron is being kept, and as they enter the main chamber, Rod Reyes transforms into a titan, bringing the whole place down. Aaron is shaken and uncertain on how to act, which Levi tells Aaron once more to make the choice that he believes in, mirroring what he said in the Titan Forest during the encounter with the female titan. And so with Levi's motivation, Aaron saves the entire squad. Once they return to the wall, the scouts along with the garrison work on a way to kill Rod Reyes before he breaks through the remaining walls. After blowing him to shit and successfully decapitating his human body, the disaster is avoided. Levi finds Kenny lying beneath a tree not too far away from the scene. He questions Kenny about his relations to him, to where Levi finds out that Kenny is actually his uncle. Now aware that they're family, Levi becomes puzzled of why Kenny would leave him then, to which he replies saying that he felt he wasn't fit to be a parent, and before he dies, gives Levi the Titan serum he was holding on to. Levi looks at his uncle one last time with a solemn expression before leaving. Following these events, Historia is coronated and the scouts plan their 58th expedition, where they hope to retrieve whatever lies in the basement of Grisha Jaeger, Aaron's father. Before leaving, Levi tries to persuade Erwin to sit this one out, as he is still mending a lost arm. Erwin refuses despite Levi's pleas and threats, and Levi realizes that he cannot reason with this man's intense desire to uncover the truth behind humanity. When they reach Shiganshina, Levi has an unnerving feeling that they have fallen into a trap, but regardless of this, they must complete their mission, as the scouts' existence rides on its success. Aaron is successful in completing the first task of sealing the wall, but Reiner is quick to make a move following this and somehow avoids dying after being impaled straight in the neck by Levi. Let me just say, this whole shifting consciousness bullshit is so uncalled for. Aaron takes to the battle against Reiner, and Levi meets up with Erwin, who is trying to formulate a plan of action. Things get desperate as the colossal titan appears, and the beast titan starts to bombard the scouts with boulders. Levi urges Erwin to escape with Aaron while he distracts the titan, saying as long as those two live, there is still hope for humanity and the scouts. But Erwin declines this idea and instead leads the most badass charge known to man, so that Levi has a chance to make his move on the beast. Levi is successful in taking down the beast titan, but as he trash talks the limbless Zeke, the cart titan snatches Zeke away before he can even react. Levi tries to pursue the cart, but his chase is cut short when he runs low on gas. Having chased the cart all the way back to Shiganshina, Levi demands that Aaron gives him his gas and blades. But Aaron is in panic and demands Levi to give Armin, who has been burned to a crisp, the titan injection so that he can live. Levi agrees to this, but just before giving Armin the injection, a scout recruit brings Erwin, who is mortally wounded as well. Levi makes the hard decision to instead give the injection to Erwin, which enrages Aaron and Mikasa. Levi loses his temper at this, telling them not to let their personal feelings get in the way, and to recognize the importance of Erwin's survival to the scouts. The argument almost takes a turn into a full-blown fight, only to be stopped by Hanj, and everyone is ordered away as Levi prepares to inject Erwin with the serum. This moment is by far one of the most important events in Levi's entire story, as his choice here will impact everything that is to come next. He feels the guilt wash over him as he remembers Armin talking about his dreams of seeing the sea, but he also remembers Erwin's dreams of uncovering the secrets of their existence. During this time, he also ends up recalling Kenny's final words to him about people becoming slaves to their own desires. But strangely enough, Erwin moves away from the syringe just as Levi is about to inject him. Levi recollects the moments before Erwin led the charge towards shoots the Beast Titan. He remembers the relief in Erwin's expression as he told him to abandon his dreams and charge into certain death. He realizes what Erwin truly desires now is an end. And Levi gives him just that. Levi and the trio continue to Eren's old home, and they find 3 books in Grisha's basement. This is when the realization that humanity outside the walls has not perished is revealed. This information is made public to humanity inside the walls, and the scouts get awarded for their medals of service. It seems their fight is over for now, but what lies across the horizons is something far, far worse. Time passes, and 1 year after the events of Shiganshina district, Levi and Hanj make contact with Yelena and Onyokoban. I think I said that right. These two defector against the rest of their Marley ship crew, and Yelena announces she is here on order from Zeke to free the Eldian people. The military has a meeting discussing whether or not Paradis will cooperate with Zeke's plan, and during so, Levi chooses not to voice his own opinion. He does end up, however, questioning Eren later on why he withheld the information that he could control the founding Titan if he is in contact with Royal Titan blood. The military does end up deciding to work with the anti-Marley faction. A couple more years pass, and in 853, Levi and a majority of the scouts participate in their raid in Libero. Levi saves Eren from the Jawed Titan and once more takes on the Beast Titan. But this time, he discreetly cuts Zape out of the nape and transports him to the airship. While he certainly dislikes leaving Zeke alive, especially after all he's done, he keeps his emotions under control and proceeds with the mission as planned. Once landing back on Paradis, Levi and a small team escort Zeke into a forest where they camp out. During this time, Paradis' ongoing unrest as the Jaegers start to rise up against the standing government. Zeke tells Levi about his ability to change people into Titans, to which Levi is disgusted by his lack of guilt and little concern for human life. Levi is notified by a messenger that Dallas, the leader of the current military government, has been assassinated, and Levi tries to think of what to do now with Zeke. Levi's final order from Erwin was to kill the Beast Titan, and he still hopes to accomplish that to this day. But while Levi was lost in thought about this, Zeke makes a break for it and turns all the scouts in the forest into Titans, whose wine had been spiked with Zeke's spinal fluid. Levi is forced to kill all of his subordinates, who have now become Titans, filling him with more grief to add to the seemingly endless amount he carries on his shoulders. In a rage, Levi chases down Zeke and cuts the piece of shit out of the Beast Titan's nape. When Zeke regains consciousness, he is inside a cart with a thunder spear in his stomach and the fuse around his throat. Levi is visibly tired of Zeke and his stupid games, and I assume plans to give him a fate worse than death. But before we can find out what that fate is, Zeke makes a suicidal attempt and blows up the cart himself and Levi. A while later, Hanj and a group of Jaegers who are looking for Zeke find the carriage, and while the Jaegers are distracted with Zeke, Hanj gets away with Levi's mangled body. Levi awakens from his coma when Eren announces the rumbling to the Eldians. Hanj and Levi stumble upon the cart Titan Peck and Theo the Marleyan commander, with whom Levi negotiates that they have a common goal of wanting to kill Zeke and stop Eren from wiping out the entire world. The 4 of them join forces. After meeting up with the usual suspects, they formulate a plan to stop Eren. A majority of the team assaults the pier to seize the flying boat so they can get to Eren, but Levi has to sit this one out due to his injuries. By the time they get to Odia and prepare to head towards Eren, Levi prepares for battle, refusing to remain on the sidelines any longer. And before I continue on, a warning to you all, this next part of the video will cover parts that the anime has not yet covered. So if you're planning to be spoiler free for part 3 of the final season, I'd suggest skipping this part of the video. There's also the chance that Ishiyama will change how the story will end in the anime, as he's expressed his dislike for how he ended the manga. So proceed at your own risk. As the scouts prepare the flying boat at Odia, preparations are interrupted when Flock appears and damages the boat. By the time the repairs from that are being made, the Wall Titans are approaching their location. In the end, Hanj volunteers to hold them off, and Levi says his final goodbyes to his long-lasting comrade. Upon arriving at Eren's position, they are thrown into a skirmish against the Beast Titan, who takes down the flying boat. Levi and the rest of the squad battle various Titans on top of Eren's back. The group gets knocked off when Reiner in his armored Titan form gets thrown at them. 2 injured from the impact, Levi lies on the ground unable to move. Despite this fact, Levi somehow musters up something within him to narrowly save Connie from being eaten by a Titan. But in this process, the Titan nabs him in the leg, and Mikasa swoops in to save him. Connie catches the unconscious Levi, and the 2 of them are saved by Falco, who has learned how to make his Titan form fly. Yeah, he can fly. Levi breaks the squad into two groups, with one going for Aaron's nape and one going to rescue Armin, who has been snatched up by a Titan. As Levi is in no longer any shape to be of help, he reflects on his decisions leading up to this point. He dreads the fact that in the end he wasn't able to carry out Erwin's final order to him, and he wonders why his comrades were so devoted to the Survey Corps mission. As he's remembering this, he comes to the understanding that the scouts were all united in the pursuit of freedom from the shackles of the walls and of the Titans, and that the lives they lost along the way wouldn't be for naught if they are able to achieve their final goal. But in the end of it all, Levi is able to carry out that final command that Erwin gave him, as Zeke appears out of Aaron's spine. Levi once more summons something inside himself and decapitates that son of a bitch. Following this, in a last-ditch attempt to stop Aaron, Levi creates an opening for Mikasa to kill him, and with that, she delivers the killing blow. In the aftermath of the battle, Levi sits up against a rock. He sees a vision of his comrades and asks if they were able to see the results of their sacrifice. In response to him, they salute, to which he returns the same. It seems the scouts' battle for freedom took many twists and turns, but in the end, they were always fighting for the same thing. 3 more years pass, and we see Levi residing in Marley. His injuries have left him crippled and bound to a wheelchair, yet he still lives on, in memory of the comrades who have died before him. Well, I've told you his story, but you may be wanting a more detailed look at what makes Levi. Well, I can do that too, don't worry. Levi is a clean freak. Due to his time in the underground living in shit, he desires the opposite lifestyle. His most important value is human life as a whole. Each mission he makes decisions based on which will preserve the most lives. He is also a very level-headed individual, even in the most dire time. This makes him a great captain. Despite his qualifications, he hates the role, as it puts lives of soldiers in his hands, making the responsibility he feels for their death even more when they die. Ever since his time as a thug, Levi has shown a large sense of empathy and compassion. There are many factors that could have contributed to this: the death of his mother, Kenny abandoning him, and watching his first friends die. What we know for sure is that Levi cares deeply for each and every one of his comrades, and the burden of their deaths build upon his shoulders throughout the story's progression. As their captain, Levi takes it as his responsibility to protect them, but he leaves the decision-making and missions up to each individual. This is brought upon by the fact that Levi himself dislikes taking orders, but also because he wants everyone to make the decisions that they believe is right, so that hopefully they won't regret their actions as much, regardless of the outcome. Now, this has backfired on him before and led to friends dying, but if you look at the big picture, taking action and dying is a better alternative than doing nothing and meeting the same fate. Levi carries the aspirations and dreams of the dead onward as he pursues the scouts' ultimate goal of freeing humans from their shackles. Again, these shackles take many different forms throughout the series, but regardless of that, Levi does not falter, as he knows the one way to make the death of his comrades meaningful is to achieve the mission of the regiment they all devoted their hearts to. Well guys, thanks for watching this video. So if you have any feedback on this video and the channel as a whole, just leave those in the comments. I want to hear your feedback and I want to hear what you want to see next. It'll give me something to work off of. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe or go check out the other content on my channel. And once again, thank you all who have made it to the end. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.